The sanitation worker saw me squatting by the street and setting up a fortune-telling stall. They thought I was so poor I couldn't afford to eat. He voluntarily gave me the only 200 yuan he had. In order to repay him, I offered to have him read a fortune. Unexpectedly, he calculated that his son was dead, and it was brutally killed and buried underground. So I said to him, "Brother, please accept my condolences. Your son passed away 3 years ago." But before I could finish, my brother got angry. "How do you talk? How could my son die when he was fine? I think you're a liar. How can someone so young just casually curse someone to die?" I sighed helplessly and said calmly, "I'll know once I go with you. Your son's body has been buried in the playground all along. If I'm wrong, you can call the police to arrest me." Hearing this, Lin Dashan was stunned. She looked at me in disbelief. "You say my son was buried in the playground?" I nodded and added, "It was buried after being murdered. You should call the police first. I'll go with you to find the body." Hearing this, Lin Dashan immediately panicked. After calling the police, the group marched grandly toward the school. I took a walk on the playground. Then he pointed to a lawn under his feet and said, "The child is here." Lin Dashan's legs gave out and he nearly fell. Swallowing her words, she begged the police, "Police officer, please dig it up. If you don't dig it up, I am willing to take responsibility." I stood quietly to the side watching them, until they reached 2 meters. A rotten, foul-smelling arm was exposed. Seeing this, police officer Chun Fei's expression changed. He hurried forward to check. Soon the body was carried up, then put it into a body bag. The elderly men and women watching the drama nearby. Everyone who saw this scene immediately erupted in an uproar. "Oh my God, it's really calculated. This is a true master." Then Chun Fei glanced at me and said in a deep voice, "Could you please come with me to make a statement? Especially this master." After arriving at the police station, Chun Fei stared at me with a sharp gaze. "You are a freshman at Tsinghua or Peking University. I studied finance, not metaphysics. Then you tell me, how did you know there was a body under the playground?" The original author did indeed study finance, but that was to make money for the orphanage. Let those children have money for treatment. But I'm not. So I replied with a calm smile, "Police officer, I hadn't been to the imperial capital 3 years ago. How could it be related to this case? If you don't believe it, I can do a couple more divinations. You calculated it correctly and you paid me. If not, you can arrest me if you want." Hearing this, a faint smile appeared on Chun Fei's face. "You are bold." He even dared to sell fortune-telling at the police station. A few police officers nearby also burst out laughing. A policeman wearing glasses joked. Those studying finance have also started playing with metaphysics. It's interesting. However, just as they were discussing it enthusiastically, a tall figure stood up and walked over. "Hand me a string of numbers," he said anxiously. "You help me do the math. When will my son find a bone marrow matcher?" I glanced at Gao Inteng's face. His earlobes are large and full. He is a blessed person. However, the children's palaces are sunken. Clearly, he was destined to have no children. So I did some calculations and said slowly, "Within 3 days, your son will find a bone marrow matcher." Gao Zongming was deeply moved upon hearing this. "Are you sure? My son is finally saved." But at that moment I hesitated for a moment. "But that child is not your son. It's your brother's. Your wife went to beg your brother. Only then was he willing to donate his bone marrow. If you don't believe it, you can go for a paternity test." Upon hearing this, Gao Zongming's eyes widened instantly. "No way. You charlatan are lying. It must be a scam." I sighed and continued, "You have a wedding prank on your wedding day, right? That day your brother drank too much. Your wife is also a victim. Hurry back to the countryside and save them. Your wife is already on her way. Otherwise your wife will lose her virginity again." Hearing this, Gao Zongming immediately panicked. He quickly took out his phone and dialed several times. But no one answered, so he hurriedly took leave and ran out. The police station fell silent. Everyone turned their attention to me. Then Officer Li Hao produced a file list. Then he glanced at Chun Fei. Seeing that he did not object, he wrote down the deceased's birth date and time. "Can you calculate how this person died?" I nodded. He thought to himself, if only his cultivation from his previous life was still there. A quick glance would reveal the clues. But now his cultivation is shallow. He could only calculate step by step. Seeing this, the police station immediately fell silent. Only the rustling sound of the pen tip scraping across the paper. Then I stopped writing and frowned. It was calculated. However, this result is somewhat shocking. "Are you sure you want to listen?" Hearing this, the police all sat up straight. Li Hao said urgently, "Just say it. As long as you know the cause of death of the deceased, it will be a great help in catching the culprit." I clenched my fists and said in a deep voice, "This young woman is 23 years old. I had just started my internship." To save money, he rented a house on the outskirts of the city. Missing a month later. Only scattered bones remained, right? Yes, I found it at a stray dog. The bones were almost gnawed away. But strangely, there was no DNA from the deceased in the stray dog's belly. The clue ends here. I sighed at this. It's normal not to be able to find it. The hand is his landlord. He dismembered the body. Then he gave all the meat to other tenants. Stray dogs didn't eat at all, so no traces can be found. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone gasped in shock. The files in Li Hao's hands. His eyes were filled with shock. You must have checked the landlord too. But he didn't eat his own handiwork, so naturally no clues could be found. As for the crime scene, it wasn't at his home. You go to the abandoned chemical plant to drain the wastewater. There will be the weapon you're looking for inside. The landlord should be arrested as soon as possible. He had plenty of murder cases on his record. He's a psychopath. And counter-surveillance is very strong. After saying that, I glanced at their blank expressions. They quickly caught on. Chun Fei immediately arranged for 2 teams to join. One team went to the abandoned chemical plant to pump water. Another team goes to catch the landlord. As the water in the pool gradually decreased, a few tattered sacks were exposed at the bottom of the pool. When opened, a foul stench hit the air. The scent made everyone feel like vomiting. Only human corpses have this smell. Someone couldn't help but chirp to Dushi. Nose pressed and continued checking the sack. The moment it was opened, several rotting heads were exposed. His eyes were hollowed out, leaving only 2 black holes. Creepy. Li Hao thought of this scene. Finally, I couldn't help but vomit loudly. He asked weakly, his face pale. Could it be that the eyeballs were also eaten? Everyone nodded silently. I don't want to continue this topic. Chun Fei brought the head and the murder weapon back to the police station. He dealt with it briefly. He walked up to me with a grave expression. You are very accurate. The 2,000 yuan divination has already been transferred to you. Let's add a contact information. I might need your help in the future. I shook my head and joked. Can we never meet again? To be honest, I just wanted to do a fortune-telling to earn some tuition. Chun Fei didn't say much more. After transferring the money, she gently told me I could go back. Thank you for your cooperation today. I smiled and said, it's only natural to pay for fortune-telling for no reason. After returning to my rented apartment, I drew a few talisman papers. The painting made my head hurt a bit, so I took a nap. Once he recovered, he continued painting. Suddenly, a faint golden light drifted over like strands of hair. My eyes lit up. He absorbed that light into his body. He felt his Tao power increase slightly. He couldn't help but smile. It seems this body is pretty good. He truly is a promising talent for cultivation. Then I took out my phone and checked the trending news. A few words on the trending list stood out prominently. Chemical factory suburban man-eating demon. Skeletal remains found on the playground. At that moment, roommate Wang Hao came back with his head hanging low. He plopped down on the ground. The whole thing was completely messy. He asked weakly, "You're back so early. Did the fortune-telling go smoothly?" I replied calmly, "Pretty smooth. He made 3,000 yuan. What? Wang Hao's eyes lit up with excitement upon hearing this. Bro, you're so capable. There's no need to sell yourself to save someone. I sighed. I didn't sell myself. They only signed a 3-year marriage contract. He only got a 5 million yuan in a marriage agreement. I never touched her at all. Hearing this, Wang Hao nodded perfunctorily. Okay. But you divorced after 3 years. Isn't it just a second marriage? How will they explain it then? I counted my shoulders and said calmly, what is fame? The children in the orphanage cannot afford to endure illness. I can save them in just 3 years selling myself. It's also worth it. Early the next morning, I brought my belongings to Swan Lake again. But just as the stall was set up, a middle-aged woman hesitated and walked up to me. Master, I want to calculate where my daughter has gone. Her face was full of anticipation. I nodded and said calmly, Ma'am, write down your daughter's birth date and time first. After finishing the writing, the woman's eyes were filled with unease. Master, my daughter disappeared a year ago. I'm not happy with you either. My son-in-law said my daughter had an affair with a man. But I don't believe it. I know exactly what kind of person my daughter is. There must be something tricky in this. But calling the police didn't find anything either. I glanced at the birth chart and sighed. Auntie, please accept my condolences. Your daughter is no longer here. Hearing this, Lu Zuelan's body went limp. Covering his face, he forced himself to swallow. I knew it. Xiaoyu might already be there. A year passed and the person still hadn't been found. I still held on to hope. But he already had a premonition in his heart. She cried so hard that everyone else felt uncomfortable. The child she raised by hand was gone in an instant. Who can stand it? At this moment old Wang spoke up. Master Xiaoyu has always been obedient. So how did she end up there? Did he really run off with someone? I shook my head. No, she didn't cheat on anyone. If you cheat and smear someone, it's just you. The son-in-law revealed it to cover up the truth about his murder. At the same time, they take over the dowry house you gave your daughter by taking advantage of the shepherd's remains. The aunt had only one daughter. Widowed in his early years, mother and daughter were together. But when demolition happened, they were allocated 3 apartments. 1 set for her daughter as dowry. 1 set of live by yourself. 1 unit for rent. Hearing this, Lu Zuolan was stunned. His eyes were filled with shock. What did you say? He killed my daughter. I nodded and continued to explain. Yes, his secret was discovered. Afraid your daughter's divorce would threaten his plans. So he struck first and killed the person. Then splashed the dirty water on your daughter. Naturally, you inherit your daughter's dowry house. You've made a scene before, haven't you? And you got hit in the opposite direction, huh? Call the police. While the body was still at home, Lu Zuolan clenched her fists. The anger on his face could no longer be concealed. Why did this bastard kill my daughter? I continued to explain. He had a mistress outside. Also gave birth to a son. Afraid your daughter will get divorced. This affects his plan to seize the house. He was moved to kill. Upon hearing this, everyone gasped in shock. Discussions began to spread among themselves. How can there be such vicious people in this world? Lu Zuolan gritted her teeth. His eyes were full of determination. Murder pays for life. I want him to pay with his life for my daughter. Alarm. Go to my daughter's home. After saying that, she was about to rush out. Grandpa Wang quickly grabbed her, parting swiftly from the emerald orchid. First, ask the master where your daughter's body is. Master, you said Xiaoyu's body is at home. But last year, the police went and didn't find anything unusual. There's no way the corpse would be undetectable. So the eldest daughter-in-law placed the ruler in the body bag, and it was vacuum evacuated. Then paste it into the wall. Naturally, it's not easy to detect. Just knock on the bedroom wall to find it. Hearing this, Lu Zuolan couldn't hold back her tears again. Trembling, he called the police. Immediately after, a group of elderly men and women walked into the neighborhood with an impressive presence. Arriving in front of that house, Lu Zuolan slammed the door hard. He called out for Meng how to open the door. The door opened quickly. A sharp-looking woman stood at the doorway. It was Xiaoyu's mother-in-law, Zhang Ju. She cursed in a sharp voice. My mother-in-law is here. Your daughter cheating, and your son has been provoked to such a pulp. You actually have the nerve to show up. Get out of here quickly. Her arrogant attitude completely infuriated Lu Zuolan. The two instantly started wrestling. The neighbors watching couldn't stand it anymore. They all stepped forward to help. Just then, a little girl poked her head out of the house. She timidly called out, Grandma. The girl's face was full of grievance, but her big eyes were filled with terror. Zhang Ju turned and glared at her. He gave it a hard push. You damn girl, who told you to come out? Have you finished washing your clothes? Have you mopped the floor yet? Sure enough, it is a loss of money. From now on, she'll be dominated by men. Hearing this, Lu Zuolan couldn't hold back any longer. There was no time to care about self-cultivation. He raised his hand and slapped Zhang Ju across the face. Immediately, the two started tearing at each other again. But the elderly men and women behind her were tightly suppressing Zhang Ju. Lu Zuolan's eyes reddened. Slap after slap. Even though his hands were red from the fan, he didn't stop. At that moment, the little girl's eyes widened in disbelief. She hurried over, hugged Lu Zuolan's leg, and cried, Grandma, stop hitting me. Dad will hit you. At that moment the police arrived, and pulled the person apart. Ask who reported it. Where is the murder case? Lu Zuolan remembered the main matter. He held his granddaughter in his arms. He rushed straight to the bedroom with the police and pointed at the wall. Officers, smash down the wall. The master said my daughter was here. You smash it. I take the kids out. Don't be scared. The police officer looked at the renovated wall and remembered the details. Auntie, didn't you report to the police a year ago that your daughter was missing? The surveillance footage only shows your daughter returning home. No trace of him again. Lu Zuolan nodded. Did you come check if you found any clues? Smash first. If you smash it, you will naturally know. Upon hearing this, Zhang Ju's expression changed. Realizing something was seriously wrong, she rushed to the side bedroom, knocking on the door and crying, Son, don't sleep. Get up quickly. Something big happened at home. The police are bullying people. Meng Hao looked impatient. Her delicate face now showed a hint of twisting. Who is coming? The noise are so annoying. Why am I working overtime so late and not letting me sleep well? He looked around, seeing the elderly men and women squeezing into the living room, frowning, his expression unfriendly. Who are you? Who let you in? This is my home. Get me out. Otherwise I'll call the police and have you arrested. Grandpa Wang chuckled. He pointed with his finger. Young. If you commit too many misdeeds you'll end up with ghosts. You don't need to call the police. There are police inside. Meng Hao jogged over. Watch them smash walls. His gaze turned gloomy. That's enough. What are you going to do? This is my newly renovated house. You can knock it. Afterwards you have to pay me money. I'm mute if I lose money. This dowry room belongs to my daughter. I also paid for the renovation. You Phoenix man. Rely on women to eat soft rice. You deserve it too. Smashed it for me. Comrade police officers, rest assured. I don't want you to pay me a single cent. The sound of banging kept echoing. Officer Wang Daming knocked on the door. He sensed something was off inside. Changed direction and continued smashing. Soon after, the wall fell off. A young woman with her eyes closed gradually came into view. No way, there was truly a corpse. It doesn't look rotten. He quickly called for the team to seal off the scene and investigate. Lu Tsuelan covered her granddaughter's eyes, watching his daughter sealed in a bag. That familiar face already bluish. Tears welled up in his eyes. The look he gave Meng Hao. He gritted his teeth as if he wished he could be cut into pieces. Meng Hao, you have such a cruel heart. What did my daughter do wrong? I married you without taking a single cent of the bride price. And I even gave you a daughter. Why did you kill her? You have a woman outside. You can get a divorce. Why should you kill my daughter? You beast. Meng Hao saw the truth exposed, knowing it's all over, and no longer hides it. His expression was pale as he called out. That's your daughter's foolishness. So shameless, you insisted on marrying me. What does it have to do with me? Besides, she herself was useless. After all, her belly was disappointing. I can't even give birth to a son. It's not like I killed her on purpose. I just have a bit more strength. Who knew she would be breathing? Besides, I have already done everything I can for her, although she was dead. But he stayed at home all along. Looking at Meng Hao's face, his face twisted in madness and madness. Everyone felt a chill rise from the soles of their feet. He couldn't help but shiver. Lu Tsuelan's body trembled as she roared. You pervert. Lunatic. Brute. You were the one begging my daughter to marry you. It's not that we're rushing to do it. You are so vicious. Officers, hurry up and arrest the person. I need a lawyer. I want him to be executed to avenge my daughter. Wait, we don't die. Grandpa Wang saw Lu Tsuelan furious, almost on the verge of collapse. He hurried over to try to persuade him. Tsuelan, you must stay calm. If you faint and have a stroke, who else can seek justice for Xiaoyu? By then, no one would hold him accountable. He was released after serving several years in prison. He will directly inherit your family's property. That would truly be a complete disaster. We absolutely cannot let this villain get away with it. He's deliberately provoking you. Hearing this, Lu Tsuelan took a deep breath. Try to calm yourself down. I want to get justice for my little you, and still need to nurture the flourishing spirit. That beast would never treat my Xinxin well. I want to take Xinxin Yang. As for you, Meng Hao, and your mother, my daughter's death is connected to all of you. I will not let go of either of you. I want to see if you get caught. The mistress outside still has you. Will that bastard wait for you? She was afraid she'd run off with the man. Upon hearing this, Meng Hao and his mother both turned pale. What is their lifeline? That is the son and grandson. After all, ending their line was a huge matter for them. Prison is nothing. Thinking of this, the two knelt down with a thud, begging for mercy. Mom, I was wrong. Please spare me once. For Xinxin's sake. The child has lost his mother. We can't be without a father again. Lu Tsuelan kicked him with disgust. Get lost. My Xinxin is being used like a beast of burden with you. When you grow older, you can sell them for bride price. You still want me to hand it over to you. Just wishful thinking. You and your son should go to prison and have a proper repentance. The elderly men and women exchanged glances as they watched the person being taken away. Oh my God. That master had calculated it again. This is a true master. Grandpa Wang said proudly. That is a must. That kid just arrived. No, Master Su just arrived. I realized he was different from others. Isn't this because I know how to spot the pearl? The matter here is settled. Tsuelan, take the child home. It's best to hire a bodyguard lately. I'm afraid your son-in-law will find someone to take revenge. And that woman outside. I understand what Brother Wang means. It's about spending some money. I'll get a bodyguard to follow me right away. Only after that beast is sentenced to death can I finally feel at ease. Afterwards, the elderly men and women left. He started spreading the word to everyone he met. The way he described it was so vivid and lifelike. One word spreads 10 times the next 100 generations. Everyone in the east of the city knew that Swan Lake Garden had a master strategist. In the blink of an eye, today's 3 episodes have ended. You start selling safety charms. At this age, the elderly don't care about that little money. As long as it can keep you safe, you want good luck. And it's also more reliable than taking health supplements. After selling 20 lots, add 3,000 from the fortune teller. Half a day in the morning, 4,500 in income. Looking at my phone's balance, it was nearly 9,000 yuan. Couldn't help but sigh. As expected, the old trade still makes money faster. Of course, in this industry you can't ask for reckless prices. Having just glimpsed the secrets of heaven was enough. Otherwise, you'll get struck by lightning. Simply pack up your things. I returned to my rented apartment. He glanced at the person sitting and watching TV. He called out to Hausi. I earned 4,500 today. I'll treat you to hot pot. Wang Hao exclaimed in surprise. What? You really make money easily. A top student is a top student. Everything he does is different from others. That is done. I'm not going to work until tomorrow night. Nothing happened today. Let's go have hot pot and have a couple more drinks. After saying that, he flopped onto the bed, ready to sleep for a while. I took out some talisman paper and drew some more. This time, I prepared some commonly used ghost-seeing talismans and powerful talismans. After all, his current skills aren't up to par. Fear not encountering ghosts. The only fear is running into someone not easy to mess with. If you have the great power talisman in hand, they are not completely powerless to resist. After carefully putting away the talisman papers one by one, I sat on the sofa and scrolled on my phone for a while. I took a look at some recent news. She slept for a while. When I woke up again, it was already 3 o'clock. Couldn't quite sleep. He got up and walked out, planning to take a stroll nearby. Then he thought about how it was still early before dark, so I decided to go straight to the materials and come back. He started teaching Wang Hao how to make paper figurines, paper horses, paper houses, and so on. Wang Hao couldn't help but shiver. Watching that gradually forming thing made me a bit afraid. Bro, do you have to be so decisive? I, Hao Shi, am also a student at Tsinghua and Peking University. Finding a job after graduation is relatively easy. No rush to choose a career right now. If I really don't get along well, can I open a funeral shop again? Then look at the current employment rate. 996 shift system. I'm afraid by the time you earn money, it won't be enough to get into the hospital. There is no freedom at all. 与其当牛马. Better to hurry early. You calmly finished speaking and continued with your work. Wang Hao fell silent. All right, bro, although what you said sounds unpleasant. But it was indeed the absolute truth. Every day is like trading your life for money. And you have to be asked to be a beast of burden in wolf-like culture. Thinking of this, Wang Hao's shoulders slumped and his head drooped. You're right. I'll learn first. It's good to have more options in the future, instead of being forced to be a beast of burden. But brother, can someone who died after burning can really accept it? Of course. Otherwise, just burn it for fun. Wang Hao nodded and began to learn. Before long, the pony was tied up. But when it comes to a moment of clarity. But I interrupted him. Wait a minute. Don't tap the eyes. Burning things for the dead cannot be used to touch the eyes. It's easy to attract trouble and come back. I remembered. And that's what they say. I'll take notes in my notebook. At that moment, a phone rang. I opened it and saw it was an unfamiliar number. So he casually took it. I am Butler Zhao. The lady notified you to come back. Tomorrow I'll take you somewhere. You should hurry back to the villa. Don't upset the young lady. Has Miss Chin arrived at the villa? Hearing this, Steward Zhao chuckled. Mr. Su, I want to remind you. The Mrs. whereabouts are not for you to ask about. Just be obedient. After all, it hasn't been many months left. Return to the villa before 9 o'clock. Otherwise, you'll have to bear the consequences yourself. After saying that, he hung up with a click. I listened to the beeping sound coming from the phone. He turned to meet a pair of curious eyes and explained. Rat, I want to go back to the Chin family villa. That person has returned. Could be something. I'll come back after I'm done dealing with it. Don't forget to carry the talisman I drew with you. Tomorrow during the day, help me visit Swan Lake Park. Tell the elderly and aunties. I have something to do and won't go to the park for fortune-telling for now. Once I'm done, I'll go. Wang Hao nodded. Yes. Brother, don't worry. In just a few months you'll be completely free. At this moment, don't go against the Chin family. No benefit. I nodded. He went out with his backpack. I stood by the roadside waiting for quite a while but still didn't get a taxi. No one knows how long a car has passed, but it stopped. The driver sternly asked if I wanted to take the car. I looked up at the eerie taxi. It's really not too late. So let's just ride a ride today. So I opened the car door and got in. Go to Triplex Chinyan Villa. The driver opened his mouth and stared at me intently. The eyes were full of greed. This is it. I looked out through the window, with a hint of deeper meaning. Master, walk the way, a bit faster. I'm in a hurry. Is it okay to be obedient? As I spoke, I cast the talisman directly at him. The driver screamed in pain. Black mist began to rise from his body. His figure was starting to fade, and he hurriedly begged for mercy. Master spares life. I was fascinated by the ghost for a while. I'll send you off now. Send it now. Please don't kill me, I said calmly. Good. Then hurry up and give it a try. Let's hurry up now. Less than 10 minutes. The ghost taxi stopped. I got out of the car and strode toward the villa. Steward Zhao walked over. He raised his hand to cover his nose. He showed a hint of disdain. How did Mr. Su get back? They're so wolfish. Better to hurry upstairs and wash up. 明日早起. Don't keep the young lady waiting. The young lady has never liked waiting for people. I answered seriously. He casually took a ghost taxi home. It's really hard to get a taxi. After a few days apart, several more wrinkles appeared at the corners of Steward Zhao's eyes. The face is not very good either. Take good care of yourself, men. The most important thing is the body. Saying this, I walked toward the villa with a gentle expression. Zhao Li's face turned pale and flushed in shifts. Watching my back, a trace of resentment flashed in his eyes. It's just a stand-in. I really think of myself as a human being. He quickly followed. He walked into the kitchen and muttered something. A sly smile appeared on his face. He wants me to embarrass myself. The more the young lady disliked him, the faster they drive people away. This way he could bring his son to live in the villa afterward. Take some more photos. Comforting a daughter-in-law is no problem. After I finished showering, he picked up 3 small paper figures. Let them stand guard at the door or window. Only then did he lie down and fall asleep. The night passed quickly. The next day before dawn, there was a knock at the door. I opened the door and saw the person standing outside raising an eyebrow. Butler Zhao actually had time to bring me breakfast. In the memory of the original owner. This Steward Zhao had always looked down on the original owner, targeting the original owner at every level. But she never brought breakfast. This time is a bit unusual. Butler Zhao tugged at the corner of his mouth and urged. Mr. Su, the lady will be back at 8 o'clock. You should finish breakfast early. Waiting for the lady below. Otherwise, if the lady can't see you, she'll be angry. I reached out and took it calmly. I know. I went down right after breakfast. Then I closed the door and leaned in to sniff. His gaze grew a bit colder. Since ancient times, the way of medicine has never been divided into families. I study the way and its methods. She naturally knows a bit about medicine. This flavor naturally reminds you of pure milk. Milk is good for people with bloating. But if you don't get bloated, that's a disaster. You can't die. It's not really sick. But it can cause social death. Can't control the fart. This medicine is generally also called a fart medicine. I knew this person had ulterior motives. He just didn't expect to resort to such underhanded tactics. So I went to the bathroom and threw out the porridge. I want to find something to eat. But there wasn't a single snack at all. Helpless, I had no choice but to go to the living room on the first floor. Sitting on the sofa, waiting, Steward Zhao waved his hand. They served fruit platters, snacks, and tea. He moved closer, his face wearing a smile. His words were full of threats. Mr. Su waited for the young lady to arrive. I hope you watch what you eat. Don't talk about things inside the villa. You have to understand, I am the elder of the Qin family. Compared to me, Miss must trust me more. You say no. You're leaving in a few months. Good gatherings and dispersals. Good for everyone. I looked up at him. Is it? I'm stupid. She didn't know what Steward Zhao said or shouldn't say to Miss Qin. Did you steal from the villa? Or did you sneak in with your son? They even ate the host's food. It's a bit of a lot. I'm not sure which thing you're referring to. Hearing this, the other nannies all turned to look over. His eyes were full of misunderstanding. Mr. Su used to always keep his head down timidly. He didn't dare look at people. It's even less likely he would say such things. Zhao Li's face darkened. Still want to say something else. Then someone called out, Steward Zhao. The young lady is back. He instantly turned hostile faster than flipping a book. She quickly returned to her gentle and professional demeanor. Before leaving, his warning gaze shot like a knife. My expression was calm, as if I hadn't seen anything. The nannies stood in 2 rows. He waited intently, eyes fixed on the air. Before long, the high heels hit the ground. The clicking sounds grew closer and closer. The figure walked into the villa. They all bowed down and called out, Welcome home to the young lady. Qin Wushuang waved his hand. Dressed in black professional attire, his face frosty. He exuded the aura of someone in power. The sense of oppression is strong. It was so hard to look directly at him. I instinctively looked over. The whole person is a certificate. He couldn't help but be stunned. Such a top-tier mature woman. I also saw it for the first time. Purple energy swirled around him. That was a great nourishment for cultivators. Those protected by purple energy. And evil spirits cannot invade.
且天生富贵命.
A lifetime of endless glory and wealth. Being stared at by Qin Wushuang felt offended. He walked over and sat across from him, slightly pursing his eyes. The voice was bone-chilling. Do you see it clearly? If not, you can come and take a look. Hearing this, I couldn't help but shiver. He said decisively, Sorry, I was the one who offended you. Qin Wushuang said expressionlessly. Butler Zhao told you what you need to do today, right? Come with me to attend the charity auction gala. When the time comes, just smile and don't say much. Good. I know. Just to be a tool. The original owner still had memories. Just occasionally need to attend. On certain occasions, he acted as a face for the Qin family. After it ends, it is left there again. Suddenly, I don't know what came to mind. His eyes flickered. Qin Wushuang took a few sips of tea and looked up. Butler Zhao. A monthly salary of 200,000 yuan. It's just that you want me to drink this kind of thing. The taste is not right. Rebrew. Miss, I'll go now. Zhao Li was like a mouse seeing a cat. His attitude was very humble. Soon, new tea was served. My heart also turned to the noisy eyes. He was afraid that if the young lady was dissatisfied, she'd just fire him. He had worked hard to stay at the Qin family. The young lady is hard to please. But they barely saw each other a few times a year. Patience is over. A salary of over 2 million a year. Not to mention the benefits he secretly sought. This job is absolutely not something you can afford to abandon. Qin Wushuang took a sip but was still somewhat dissatisfied. He shot him a cold glance and stood up. It's getting late. Suchin, come with me. Butler Zhao asked the driver to follow me. After that, I'll send Suchin back first. And Steward Zhao, your tea-clearing skills have regressed quite a bit. It looks like the butler exam will happen again. Zhao Lizhan lowered his head in front of Shushu. I will definitely remember your teaching in the sea. I'll retake those certificates. Then Qin Wushuang and I left one after the other. Once in the car, she took out her computer and her fingers were spinning. It was obvious they were dealing with serious matters. I took out my phone and didn't wait to do anything. Suddenly, a bell rang. Suddenly, the pressure around him dropped. The cold air rushed in. It makes your body tense up unconsciously. Qin Wushuang's cold voice came from beside him. Turn it off. It made me noisy. I'm sorry. I instinctively shut down my phone. Sit up straight, eyes straight without looking sideways. Afraid of disturbing the workaholic. After finishing his work, Qin Wushuang shut down his computer. She glanced at me, who was sitting quietly beside her. His tone softened a bit. What have you been up to lately, Suchin? He explained everything in detail. I hadn't planned to fill it up anyway. And it's impossible to be fully satisfied. After all, once discovered, women in such positions only feel toyed with. You could even kill me. After falling earlier, I went to Wang Hao's place. Usually does fortune-telling in the park. Just yesterday I took a ghost ride and rented it back. As soon as he finished speaking, the car fell into a deathly silence. Uncle Fu broke out in a cold sweat upon hearing this. I thought about it. Miss has always been most disgusted with talk of ghosts and spirits. But Suchun not only dared to bring it up, he even lied and deceived people. Now the young lady was definitely going to be angry. Qin Wushuang raised an eyebrow. She looked at me with interest. How can a college student know how to tell fortunes? If interested, I learned a bit. Earn a little money to pay tuition. I spoke with great confidence. After all, the original owner had indeed been obsessed with metaphysics for a while. Later, I realized I couldn't learn it. Just give up. Even if Qin Wushuang investigated. I'm not lying. Qin Wushuang met my clear gaze. Unconsciously, the anger in my heart was suppressed and I changed the subject. I give you 100,000 yuan a month for living expenses. Where do you need to earn living expenses? What 100,000? I don't know. I was a little puzzled. After all, the original owner never remembered it. There was never anything like 100,000 yuan a month. If it really existed, why would the original owner go around doing part-time jobs to earn money? Living expenses are inevitable. You go all the way to the Qin family. Besides the 500 units agreed upon in the agreement, I was the one who gave her 100,000 yuan for living expenses every month. Let Zhao Li give you the beginning of each month. After speaking, Qin Wushuang's self-light carried a scrutinizing look. She had been in the business world for so many years. She could tell at a glance when someone lied. But all I saw were confusion and confusion. So her voice turned cold. Fu Bo, check it out for me within 10 minutes. Where did that money go? If it was related to Zhao Li, directly to the police. Uncle Fu nodded in agreement. He tapped on his phone. Soon, a file appeared on his phone. He immediately sent it to Qin Wushuang. Miss has already found out the truth. Take a look. Qin Wushuang opened his eyes and scanned the above. After watching the surveillance footage, he sneered. Something with dirty hands and feet. Miss, should you arrest him first? Zhao Li was far too greedy, and he doesn't measure his own strength. Not a good candidate to be a butler. Don't rush first. Hiring a new butler. Settle the accounts together when the time comes. He can't run away. I hate it when people lie to me. Think I'm a fool. Hearing this, I secretly felt relieved. Fortunately, in my previous life I often read CEO novels. Gained a thorough understanding of the abilities of this group. Facing this kind of person, the only thing you can do is be honest. Don't try to play tricks. Looking up something. In just a few minutes, the ancestors have passed down for 18 generations. They can even get you a thorough investigation. There is simply no need to lie. Qin Wushuang turned her head and said casually. You are honest. I like it very much. This point will continue to be maintained later. But you can tell fortunes. Could it also catch ghosts? I nodded. Yes. But his cultivation is still shallow. If you want to see ghosts, I can help you. Some aren't that scary. Some are so twisted and disgusting. But that's one thing. Hearing this, Uncle Fu thought to himself. Is this kid crazy? How dare you say that? Where in this world would ghosts come from? Maybe he's a bit out of his mind. He even called people to watch ghosts. What's so interesting about that thing? Qin Wushuang found it amusing and tugged at the corner of his mouth. All right. If I get the chance, I want to see it too. What kind of ghosts are in this world? How come I've never encountered it even once? I won't comment on this anymore. Purple energy enveloped you in your entire body. Who dares to get close? I wish my soul would scatter but could not. Immediately, I focused my mind and calmed my breath. Secretly, purple energy is drawn into his body. He began refining it into Dao power. Just a little while. It's worth the amount of Dao power I've accumulated over the past few days of fortune-telling. If only he could stay by her side longer. My cultivation will definitely recover faster. But then he thought it over. This one is too imposing. I was almost out of breath. Better to cultivate slowly. This shortcut is not easy to take. Not long after, the car stopped at the entrance of the large hotel. Qin Wushuang walked one after the other with you. Suddenly, Qin Wushuang glanced back. His gaze fell on my backpack and he frowned. Su-chun, why are you carrying a bag for no reason? Is there something inside? Hearing this, I honestly opened it for her to take a look. Nothing else, is just a thermos. There are also some talisman papers. That's right. Take this safety talisman with you. I can keep you safe. Looking at the pale golden triangle handed over, Qin Wushuang reached out to take it and rub it down. He casually stuffed it into a bag full of diamonds. Then he led me to sit in the front row. Then more and more people came over one after another. From time to time someone glanced at me. They whispered quietly about something. That person was President Qin. The man beside her looked very young. He's just a college student, right? Unexpectedly, the usually aloof President Qin. She actually likes the little puppy. He really does look full of youthful energy. Don't say it. This guy actually looks a lot like the young master of the Fu family. No wonder she married into the Qin family. Only this face is worth seeing. Once the main character returns, there'll be a good show. That's not necessarily. I heard this person is the provincial top scholar. Not only is he impressive in terms of face, this is something else. Otherwise, President Qin wouldn't have taken a liking to her. Listening to their chatter, I felt a bit annoyed. Spreading bad things behind someone's back is one thing. Can you make it a bit quieter? It's really noisy. So I took out my phone and turned it on. Seeing missed calls and messages from Wang Hao. Bro, I just sold my peace talisman for 3,000. You can draw more when you have time. I love this. This one sells so well. Okay, let's make a killing. I set my phone to silent. He took out a thermos and poured himself a cup. Noticing the gaze from the side, he turned to look. Miss Qin, do you want some? Qin Wushuang's eyes turned cold. I said it before. When you're out, just call me Wushuang. The following is not an example. Alright, Wushuang. Do you want to drink it? What did you put in your thermos? Goji berry ginseng tea. Wellness should start from a young age. As I spoke, I started sipping it slowly. After drinking, he still looked satisfied. Qin Wushuang's mouth twitched. Niomai stopped looking at me. This person was now rather unyielding. It's much more pleasing to the eye than before, but this brain looks a bit abnormal. Soon, the charity auction began. The reason it's called charity. It's because of the items at the auction. All prices for the auction will be donated to the foundation in his personal name without compensation. As the items were snatched away one by one, Qin Wushuang didn't react either. The host looked down at the audience. A dark light flashed in his eyes. Next is an official kiln porcelain. The patterns are exquisitely crafted. It is also our grand finale collection today. The starting price is 5 million. Each time he bids for 500,000 yuan. Start now. As the porcelain covered with black cloth was carefully lifted up, the host tore off the black cloth. The light struck the porcelain directly, emitting a brilliant brilliance. Qin Wushuang sat up straight, his gaze fixed on the stage. Clearly, he was interested in this porcelain. The shadow in the shadows saw this and made a gesture. He quickly withdrew. People kept holding up signs and bidding. Qin Wushuang held the sign just about to raise it, but I pressed it down beside me. She looked at me in confusion and asked what was wrong. I frowned and said seriously, "Don't shoot. There's something fishy about that vase." Manipulated and acted. You take a photo and put it at home. It will continuously consume your blood energy. You will have a short life. What are you talking about? Su-chun, I think you've lost your mind. It's just a vase. Who could tamper with it? As she spoke, she raised her sign. Seeing this, the host's smile grew even deeper. Mr. Qin called for 800 cubic meters. Is there anyone else calling out prices? If not, then. At that moment, another sign was raised. I looked at the black mist swirling around the vase, like a moving bug, writhing continuously on top. That was a spell only those who practiced evil paths would use. It is specifically used to absorb the blood energy of people with special fate patterns. To prolong one's life, that is the existence most hated by all cultivators. So I reached out and held her wrist, speaking seriously. Wait a minute. I know you want that vase, but let me show you something first. If you still insist after reading it, I will never stop you. As I spoke, I stuck a yellow talisman directly onto her. This is a ghost-seeing talisman. Although it couldn't compare to the heavenly eye, but it's still enough to look at some dirty stuff. Don't be angry yet. Look at the vase above. Qin Wushuang warned with displeasure. You better say it's true. I came here today just for this vase. If you make me miss out, you know the consequences. Then she turned her head to look, but with just one glance, her eyes suddenly widened. The scene before his eyes had changed. The once dazzling vase. At this moment, black mist was spreading everywhere. Just one glance sent chills down one's spine. Qin Wushuang rubbed his eyes, but the black mist was still there. He tore off the talisman paper stuck on his body and looked again. Then it returned to its original state. But once applied, it looked completely different. She frowned deeply and lowered her voice. What on earth was going on with Su-chun? You can see that black mist. That thing is an evil thing. Your fate is unique. They are the easiest targets for evil sex. If it can absorb the purple energy from your body, this will speed up your cultivation. Purple energy protects you from the harm of evil cults, but it also attracts evil paths. Able to use something to harm you. Generally speaking, your kind of noble destiny. It won't be easily discovered by evil paths, unless your birth date and time have been leaked. Hearing this, Qin Wushuang suddenly thought. Second uncle's attitude seemed a bit strange lately. On ordinary days, I do not leave the old house. I've been going a lot lately. Grandpa mentioned it too. Second uncle kept asking about the exact time of her birth. They said they were going to the temple to pray for blessings. You need to use the 8 characters of the birth date and time. It must be precise. Thinking of this, Qin Wushuang's fingers unconsciously tightened. He completely gave up on the idea of auctioning. Seeing this, I quietly let go of my hand. Just act as if nothing happened. After all, I've reminded everyone I needed to remind them. The rest was up to herself. Qin Wushuang withdrew his attention. He quietly said thank you. I didn't expect her to thank me too. I really can't see it. The auction ended quickly. Qin Wushuang and I walked out, standing by the roadside, waiting. Qin Wushuang asked somewhat uncertainly. Su-chun, you really know fortune-telling? I nodded. Understand a little. If you want to do fortune-telling, you'll have to wait a bit longer. My cultivation is not enough now. When my cultivation comes up, only those with special fate patterns can be interpreted. Does fortune-telling shorten your lifespan? I thought for a moment and shook my head. The person who reads the accounts. If we take the right path, that is cultivation by accumulating good deeds and gathering merit. This can offset the punishment for peeking into heavenly secrets. If it were suicide, being struck by lightning would be normal. Qin Wushuang sized me up, although he had a youthful face. But when he spoke in an old-fashioned tone. There's a cool contrast that's pretty cute. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but tease the corner of her mouth. Have you always spoken so seriously and never lied? Previously, I only agreed. Now, however, he was much bolder. I pressed my lips together and said nothing. That's the original owner. Not me. I have always been the one sitting upright. Don't do anything with a guilty conscience. But in his previous life he still lost to human hearts. That's all. Who wants the sect leader position? I will live another life. Working hard to earn money to make yourself happier is enough. Nothing else matters. At that moment, an overweight man walked past us. Qin Wushuang felt a chilling chill and instinctively looked over. She saw several babies lying on the man's back. He still wore an umbilical cord wrapped around black energy. Qin Wushuang tore off the talisman paper from his body. Before he could react, the talisman paper in his hand turned to black ash and dissipated from his fingertips. How did the talisman paper you gave me turn to dust? Did you just see that man on his back? I made a shush gesture. He signaled her to stay quiet. We get in the car. This is not the right place to say this. Keep this safety talisman. It doesn't hurt you. Uncle Fu drove over. He got out of the car, opened the door, and greeted him respectfully. Miss Son-in-law, you can get in the car now. After getting in the car, Uncle Fu drove out of the hotel entrance. I handed over a small paper figure and whispered, there aren't many ghost-seeing talismans drawn. When the number of uses runs out, it turns to ash. This is for you. If you encounter something strange. He called my name to the paper figure. I'll go find her. The man you mentioned. There were several babies on his back. His whole body was dark blue, looking very eerie, didn't he? Usually haunted by vengeful spirits, especially infants. It must be that man who is flirtatious and immoral. After the game, they send the person to have an abortion. That's why they get entangled by the vengeful spirit. That was his karma. No need to worry too much. Qin Wushuang nodded. He reached out to take the little paper figure, watching the paper figure bouncing in his palm. His usually calm eyes flickered slightly. It actually moves. Uncle Fu looked through the rearview mirror. Clearly, he saw himself at home. The young lady bounced in her palm with a joyful paper figure. Startled, he made a sharp turn. The two people in the back seat slid to one side due to inertia. I held her tightly in my arms. After coming back to his senses, he hurriedly let go. It felt a bit uncomfortable. Sorry, the car wasn't steady just now. I didn't mean to. The reason for saying this is, the stand contract makes it very clear. During the marriage, it means only being a nominal couple. Without the woman's permission, no physical contact is allowed. So after saying that, I hurriedly sat back into the corner. Put some distance between them, afraid of running into each other again. Seeing this, the strange feeling in Qin Wushuang's heart was replaced by anger. He snorted coldly, held the little paper figure, and fell silent. The atmosphere inside the car was oppressive. Uncle Fu glanced at me, sitting there looking completely innocent. Then he looked at the young lady who was sulking. He sighed inwardly. This top student is good at studying. But coaxing the girl was impossible. It's so obvious. He still couldn't tell. I don't know how to coax. Such insight really doesn't work. The car stopped in front of the villa. The two entered the villa. Zhao Li hurried over to greet him. Miss, you're back. I want to eat something for dinner. Is it abalone or ginseng? Or the Auslong airship back? I followed behind and heard all this. The corners of his mouth twitched. Eating these late at night. Are you really not afraid of stomach pain? No wonder in the previous life's domineering CEO novels, so many domineering CEOs have stomach problems. Eating like this, it's stranger if he's not sick. Qin Wushuang said nothing. He turned to look at me. What do you want to eat? I was stunned for a moment. I didn't expect Qin Wushuang to ask me, so he instinctively replied, cook white rice porridge with side dishes. It's good for stomach health. You're only in your 20s and already starting health preservation? It's not all about health preservation. Mainly, eating seafood at night isn't very good. If you want to eat it, it can be used to cook crab roe porridge. This way, it's less harmful to the stomach. Qin Wushuang nodded. Then you do it. In the evening we eat together. I opened my mouth. Before he could speak, someone interrupted him. How can this work? Our miss has always been particular. Mr. Su, who knows how good your cooking skills are? If it's not delicious. Miss, if you skip dinner, your stomach will hurt. Isn't it just crab roe porridge? I'll just let the kitchen do it. Qin Wushuang stepped closer. Her eyes were full of passion. What are you? How dare you oppose my words? I told Su Chun to make dinner. Don't you understand? Zhao Li was so frightened that his legs gave out and he collapsed to the ground. Su Chun, you go make dinner. If anyone doesn't cooperate, just tell him to get lost. I was tired and needed to go upstairs to rest. Don't disturb me while I'm resting for no reason. I know. Until the sound of the door closing came. Zhao Li finally snapped out of it. Some wolves got up, trembling with their worries. Su Chun, did you say bad things about me to Miss? Otherwise, Miss wouldn't be so harsh to me. I tugged at the corners of my mouth. She looked at him as if he were a fool. Eat more walnuts when you have nothing to do. It can nourish the brain. Rarely have paranoia for no reason. And don't treat the Chable rulers like fools. You two agents can see right through it right in front of her. After saying that, I turned and went to the kitchen. Then pick out a few female crabs. It's still early for now. You can first make the chicken soup. Sister Lu, could you help me make some chicken soup? Lu Hong nodded repeatedly and respectfully. Young master, I'll make chicken soup right away. Do you think you need to add ginseng to the simmer? No. Overpatching can actually harm your health. Just endure it normally. Pressure it down with a pressure cooker. Can be a bit faster. Call me when you're done. Next, I cleaned the crabs and steamed them. Steamed until peeled crab. Then serve it with chicken broth to make porridge. The taste is delicious and warming. Best suited for girls. Of course, I wouldn't admit that I also like crab roe porridge. Lu Hong kept sneaking glances from time to time, seeing how skillfully I worked. It's obvious this isn't their first time. The son-in-law's temperament is truly gentle and polite, leaving nothing to say. He was the perfect match for the impatient young lady. But unfortunately, the young lady prefers the rich young master. What a pity. Meanwhile, Qin Wushuang lay on the bed. The little paper figure jumped from her pocket onto her chest. She hopped around like a mischievous child. She reached out and squeezed it. You, this little one, are actually more likable than your master. Stay in bed. No sneaking into the bathroom. Otherwise, I would be angry. After saying that, she got up and took her pajamas into the bathroom. When he came out again, his long jet-black hair was scattered behind him. His entire presence had shed his sharpness, like a lotus emerging from water. Breathtakingly beautiful. At that moment, Zhao Li returned to his room. Inside, he felt somewhat uneasy. He always felt that the way Miss looked at him was different from before. It was very unfamiliar and distant. It makes people feel uneasy. Just as he was lost in thought, the window was opened. A figure crawled in and pressed his lips against him. Dad, don't say anything. It's me, Zhaohu. Seeing him nod. Only then did Zhaohu let go. His eyes were full of dark circles as he urged him on. Dad, hurry up and give me the money. I'm running out of money. Zhao Li locked the door. The curtain was drawn. He slapped him across the face angrily. You little rabbit. What a big courage. Who told you to find it? This is the Qin family villa. Surveillance everywhere. If you find out, both of us are going to suffer. Spend the rest of your life in prison. Zhao Hu waved his hand. His face was full of impatience. All right, Dad. Don't talk nonsense. Could I be that stupid? Of course, he sneaked in after checking that there were no surveillance cameras on this side. You're the Qin family's butler now. Who doesn't know the Qin family is wealthy? Just a little bit is enough for us to spend a lifetime without end. Just be careful. Zhao Li looked at him with a look of disappointment. I'll give you at least 300,000 yuan a month. Where did you spend it? Did you lose the bet? That thing can't be touched. Could mean losing everything. Hearing this, Zhao Hu said fiercely. Who said I lost? I was just unlucky. Back when I was lucky. Didn't you spend my money too? Now it's your turn to give me money. Why are you so reluctant? I'm already uncomfortable having you as my useless dad. You're still gonna keep chatting. If you ask me, let's just make a big deal from him. He simply took the money abroad. I don't believe it. The Qin family can still find us. This time, Zhao Li didn't rush to refute him. First, the young lady's attitude toward him had indeed changed. Second, his theft would eventually be discovered. Rather than go to jail when the time comes, why not make a big profit now? He immediately ran away with his son. When the time comes, we'll have money. No matter how you live your life, it's comfortable. So he spoke up. Xiaohu, you have some point. But we need to plan this carefully. You can't be too anxious. Xiaohu's eyes lit up when he saw him relax. She leaned in, grabbed his arm, and acted cute. Dad, I knew you doted on me the most. Let's plan carefully. Meanwhile, on the other side in the study, Qin Wushuang was handling official business. There was a knock at the door. Uncle Fu pushed open the door and greeted him respectfully. Miss, your guess is correct. The money Zhao Li stole really went to that prodigal son, including the monthly gifts you give Mr. Su. Living expenses also never arrived. He had embezzled all of Mr. Su's money. Qin Wushuang put down his brush and smiled. Very good. It really is a wolf that can't be tamed. Save all the videos. From now on, it should be handed over to the police. Let him sit in his old place. Uncle Fu bowed his head respectfully. Miss, this is your room for storing jewelry. Should I lock it up? If it gets lost or damaged, that wouldn't be good. Also, go and pack out all my favorite sets. Keep a few worthless ones. If he stole millions, enough for their father and son to never get out of this world in their lifetime. Okay, miss. The son-in-law just said dinner was almost ready. Miss, when do you want to go down? Qin Wushuang glanced at the time. It was almost 6 o'clock. Yes, dinner is ready. Just thinking about the old dinners made her lose her appetite. So he instinctively asked, Su-chun, how good is your cooking skills? Uncle Fu thought for a moment. Judging from the surveillance, it seems to be just average. Steward Zhao didn't arrange for anyone to cook for the son-in-law. He usually makes it himself. It seems she still had to pay the utility bills for butler Zhao. Otherwise, the kitchen is not allowed to be used. And even pinned the blame on the young lady. It's really hateful. Qin Wushuang fell silent for a moment. She married me. At that time it was to resist second uncle. Also to stabilize the board. Not all to get back at Fu Yan. She hadn't expected to see the place she hadn't seen. I can't believe I've been bullied like this. No wonder she looks so thin. He also seemed young. He needed to take better care of himself. Uncle Fu, do I really look that mean? Do you think Su-chun would believe what Zhao Li said? And thus harbored resentment against me. Uncle Fu hesitated for a moment, then shook his head. Probably not. The son-in-law is a simple-minded man. People with such clear eyes wouldn't be bad. Besides, there was a misunderstanding here. Just explain it clearly. The son-in-law won't be angry. Hearing this, Qin Wushuang lifted his chin, looking a bit proud. I am a dignified president. I haven't wronged him. Why should he be the Taoist? It's not like I took his money. Alright, go down and tell him. I went down to eat in 10 minutes. Also, arrange for someone to come for an interview as soon as possible. Find a new butler. Replace all the disobedient nannies here. Uncle Fu understood this immediately. Miss clearly cares about the son-in-law. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to waste so much effort. He was the young Master Ian from back then. The young lady had never cared so much before. Then Qin Wushuang opened the video conference and said coldly. Long story short. Control within 10 minutes. Report clearly. Important matters will be discussed in detail at tomorrow's meeting. Okay, Mr. Qin. 10 minutes passed. Qin Wushuang wore black pajamas and slippers. He just walked down like that. Met my amazed gaze. He immediately glared and left. The corners of his mouth lifted slightly. I quickly turned my face away. I'm a little embarrassed. Is this guy really this good when he takes off his professional attire? The pressure was no longer as strong as before. Wushuang, try the crab roe porridge. I made it with chicken broth. Add carrots and greens. Not greasy. Sit down and eat together. Qin Wushuang looked at the person sitting at the other end of the table. The two of them were almost shouting when they spoke. His face immediately darkened, showing some displeasure. Is she a ghost? Why would she avoid her so much? Come and sit down. So far, do you want me to shout through a megaphone? I glanced at it and stood up without hesitation. He sat down next to her with the bowl. He kept his head down, eating slowly. Qin Wushuang took a bite. The aroma of the chicken broth mixed with the fresh taste of crab roe. The greens garnished here are truly appetizing. Bite after bite, she ate them. Uncle Fu watched from the side and said with emotion. It's been a long time since I've seen the young lady have such a good appetite. The son-in-law is really impressive. That tone and words sounded really familiar. I pushed the pickled cucumber over politely. If you like it, come over when work isn't busy in the future. I'll make delicious food for you. Try. This is what I did this afternoon. Very refreshing. Qin Wushuang nodded. It was delicious. I'll come back more often if I have time. I'll let you know in advance when the time comes. Give me your phone. Without hesitation, I unlocked it and handed it over. The password is our wedding anniversary. I've pinned the message to the top for you. He had no other woman as a close friend. No fooling. Only one female class monitor. There was also a theater troupe. You can check. I've always had a spirit of contract. Only a few months left. He absolutely won't let anyone catch him on the ground. Not giving the remaining 2 million. We will divorce after the contract expires. Qin Wushuang had no idea what I was thinking. Hearing me say that, the smile at the corner of his mouth deepened. I don't know what she's happy about. As long as she's happy, that's enough. Opening my phone, I found that sure enough I saw my avatar pinned to the top. After reading the note carefully, her face flushed slightly. This person looked simple. Just a silly little puppy. How can you note this? What does it mean to be an unparalleled queen? This is way too chinibyu. She tapped her fingers quickly. Set it up and return it. My private number. If you need anything, you can call me. If you're not busy, I'll get back to you. If you don't answer, it means you're very busy. Don't keep hitting. Do you understand? Qin Wushuang smiled with a smile on his face. It scattered a lot of fierceness. She gives off the impression of a girl next door. It's a bit cute. He then explained. The note you gave me. I don't like it. I've changed it for you. From now on, use Wushuang. Don't use some unrivaled queen with such a cheesy name. I don't like it. I smiled knowingly. He looked like he was easy to talk to. Just change it. There's something I need to trouble you with. Qin Wushuang didn't like how polite I was. He responded with a hum. What are you talking about? That is true. I promised the park grandpa and aunt. During summer vacation, I had to go to fortune-telling every day. Basically, after finishing the 3 divinations in the morning, he would come back. But it's hard to get a taxi here. I would like to ask. Is there a car I don't need to take for a bit? Qin Wushuang's beautiful eyes grew tender. He agreed immediately. Of course. I have my collection of cars in the garage. After we finish, I'll take you to pick one. Drive whichever car you like. Fortune-telling is your hobby, so I won't interfere. But don't mess up my dinner. I'll come by at night when I'm free. You want to come back? I nodded obediently without any objections. Uncle Fu watched from the side, his eyes full of satisfaction. It's been a long time since I've seen the young lady smile so happily. The son-in-law is truly admirable. Much better than young Master Ian. Young Master Ian was too scheming. Miss is already exhausted from the intrigue in the business world. If he goes home, he'll still play tricks. How hard it is. That's nice. It's even better to have a little young master early. At that moment I suddenly asked. That's right. Why haven't I seen Steward Zhao? Steward Zhao was feeling unwell. I took a day off today. Let me take your place for now. If you need anything, just come to me. I nodded. He stood up and served a bowl, handing it over. Uncle Fu, I made quite a bit of porridge. You should have some too. Elderly people eat porridge to nourish their stomachs. This isn't quite the right thing for the son-in-law. The Qin family has its rules. We have to serve the master while he eats. I'll eat again after you finish eating. At that moment, Qin Wushuang's voice rang out. It's okay, Uncle Fu. You have been with me for more than 10 years. He was no longer an outsider. Sit down and eat together. Don't be so outward. Upon hearing this, Fu Boli requested to sit down. Her eyes were red, her face full of emotion. That's nice. Miss is sensible. Will care about people. Half an hour later, the meal was finished. Qin Wushuang rubbed his belly. Round and plump, still a bit unsatisfied. I got up to walk for a walk to help digest my food. Suchin, come with me. Go to the garage to pick out a car. Then you walked and chatted. Why did you come to the villa that night? I remember after dark, very few taxis are willing to come to this villa. I answered honestly. I just didn't get a taxi. But I was still lucky. Run into a ghost driver. He went straight down the path of ghosts. Except it was a bit cold. The speed is really fast. Hearing this, Qin Wushuang felt that the conversation was a bit hard to keep up that day. Late at night, don't mention ghosts. Not very auspicious. I don't mention it. A beep sounded. The garage door opened. I looked at that row of luxury cars. There was no one with less than $1 million who couldn't help but click their tongues. Is this the daily life of a wealthy family? Qin Wushuang saw me lost in thought. He called out to Suchan to come over. Take a look at this one. Except that it's a bit cheap. Other aspects are pretty good. Isn't this car a bit too big? I want a slightly cheaper little car. Cheap. This car only costs 3 million. Nor is it a global limited edition. It's cheap enough. No matter how cheap it is, it won't work. If you go out, it's the Qin family's reputation. Don't embarrass me. I hesitated. He looked at the silver car beside him. This one looks more normal. Is it better to keep a low profile when driving out? After all, I'm a poor fortune teller. Being too flashy can easily get struck by lightning. So I pointed at the car and said, Wushuang wants to drive this car. It looks a bit smaller, easier to park. That one is too big. Comfortable to drive. But parking is difficult. Qin Wushuang frowned, as if he couldn't understand it. Parking is difficult. Which park are you going to? I'll buy you 2 garages nearby. Definitely easy to park. I twitched the corner of my mouth. A bit helpless. I went to have my fortune told. Just park in the park. Is this one okay? Okay. If you like, you can drive any car here. I'm sure you want this Rolls-Royce. I'll have someone drive it for you. Just go straight to the open pass. Have you taken the driver's license yet? The college entrance exam was taken during the summer vacation. Qin Wushuang nodded. He operated twice on his phone. Alright, that's your living expenses for over 2 years. A total of 3 million. Please pay attention to it. As for Zhao Li embezzling your money, I'll make him spit it out. Hearing this, I took out my phone and checked my balance. He reached out and counted the numbers. Alright, that's truly a 7-figure amount. That was way too generous. No wonder everyone is living off their own people. So fragrant. Isn't Wushuang a bit too much money? Qin Wushuang looked at me with a questioning gaze. It seems she doesn't understand what I mean. You marry me. I'll give you living expenses. Any questions? No problem. Just be happy. I instinctively felt that if she was talking about the contract, I might be in trouble. So he changed his tune directly. Let's go. Go back to rest. After returning to the room, I was still a bit confused. Look over and over. It was confirmed to be after 3 million. I rolled twice on the bed before calming down. Recalling what the original owner had said before, I transferred 2.5 million directly through a channel. He then used the channel to call the orphanage. Immediately after, a familiar gentle female voice rang out. Xiaochun, is you doing well at university? Very good. College is also very relaxed. I helped the orphanage get some sponsorship. Director, Mom, take this to treat the children. If you need surgery, don't delay any longer. There was silence on the other end of the line. A faint voice was forced to swallow. Xiaochun, it's all because I'm useless. That's why you've worked so hard. Children from other orphanages went to college. As long as he managed his tuition, food, and drink, it was fine. You still have to manage the orphanage. I'm sorry. I'm the one holding you all back. How did you manage to raise this money? Did I ask your classmate for help? They will look down on you. Return the money. Nowadays, children in the orphanage don't need to spend a lot of money. I'll look for those with minor issues. You can definitely apply for funding from above. Hearing this, I felt a pang of sadness in my heart. How hard life is for the children in those orphanages. I do have memories. The director's mother worked even harder to save money. So I spoke up. This is a charitable donation. The students at Tsinghua and Peking University are very caring. They donated voluntarily after learning about it. Dean's mother, please accept it. Bring the children to see a doctor early. I'll come back to see you when I have time. As for the allocation mentioned above, it is indeed very difficult to apply for those exceeding the quota. The children couldn't wait, even if it's just a minor illness. But they were a day late. They will ache for a whole day. After hanging up, I felt relieved.